The heroin epidemic is hitting hard in Pennsylvania. Heroin is the leading cause of death right now in the state. Through my research on heroin, I learned that white males from suburban areas are more likely to abuse heroin than anyone else. 7 people die every day from overdoses, and 1 in 4 families have to suffer from a drug-related situation. I had the opportunity to speak with Amy Caratinudo, a mother who lost her son due to an overdose on heroin. Through my research on the heroin epidemic, I found shocking statistics about heroin use in Pennsylvania. The heroin epidemic hits young adults ages 18 to 25 more than any other groups. The age group of Americans 26 and older has increased by 56% as well. Amy shared some of her experience with the heroin epidemic.
And then we went out there and had a meeting. Then he came back home to live with me, and I had him for 3 weeks before he passed away. He passed away in his bedroom at my house. We had a great relationship. We were talking every day. I mean, he told me, that he did slip up, and he actually called his probation officer on Saturday and told him that he relapsed, and by the time the probation officer got the message on Monday, Kevin had already died. I made him write his last will and testament before he was allowed to move back into my house. He said, Mom, I'm not going to die of an overdose. I said, Kev, even if you get hit by a car, I need to know what you want if you die, because I know I'm living with an addict. He's not thinking. And sure enough, he finished it the week before he died, and I'm glad I had that piece of paper. It's in his writing, what he wanted to be laid out, and how he wanted to be remembered. Be remembered as, a good brother, a good uncle. He tried his best. His best wasn't good enough. It's very hard, but families who live with an addict have come to terms with that kind of stuff, because we never know what's going to happen. He just couldn't help himself. We went to Walmart, and he says, Mom, I felt like I wanted to steal. I have money in my pockets. Like, it's just really, really sad that, they can't get a hold on it. Just want to save somebody from going through what we went. There's not much we can do if they're going to do it, because, my son was in the other room. All he had to do was knock on the wall. But things are so deteriorated from this heroin that they're not even thinking clearly. They just think they're going to get there. They're chasing that one more high. Could kill them, And I know my son didn't want to die. I know he just wanted to get high. We had talked about it.
Heroin has started to take over white, male suburban areas. Delaware County is considered a suburbanized area. This is where Amy lived. She shared with us what it was like to live around Delaware County and if she knew of any excess substance abuse.
Like, he was involved. He was your everyday teenager. I just want people to know, it's just everybody's child is susceptible to this. They make the choice to try it once, but once they start, their brains just are totally malfunctioning. Yeah, and they don't realize too, I learned a lot from, it's called the NOPE program, NOPE, and they go around to the schools and do a presentation, and it's even the mixing of these drugs, not even just the heroin, people that are on Adderall for ADD, and then they're trying something else. The mixture of the two drugs is killing, like the Xanax, benzos, and opioids, and the heroin is an opioid, whereas the Xanax is a benzo. So the two of them together are deadly. And if a child has an issue where they're on a heart medication for a medical problem, and then they try one of these other drugs, that could kill them instantly. Back in the day, I thought, oh, he's just a junkie, he's a drug addict, until it hit my family. It took, so we're just trying to raise awareness, to give these people love. Don't give them money, don't enable them, but they need to know that you love them. Yeah, and I just tell people, because right now I have a neighbor, that lives right next door. He's trying to get clean, and, I can hear them, him talking to his family and stuff, and I just keep telling him, Walter, don't be by yourself. Don't be by yourself. You have a 4-year-old son here. He needs you. His mom had left him at 10 months old. All you have is this, this little boy only has you. So you really need to, and he's trying. That craving is so, just do whatever you can. Just don't use the heroin, because it's deadly.
Governor Tom Wolf announced that Pennsylvania State Police will receive nearly $500,000 in federal grants to supplement their efforts towards combating drug trafficking in the Commonwealth. Amy gave us a little background knowledge in what she's heard in regards to the efforts, and if she has personally done anything to try and make a change.
So it's just raising that awareness, and I hope that I don't know how the police, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but I had an incident the other day on the ferry. I was going over to my mom, and I was the last one boarding the ferry. And now they have security where they check your bags, which I think is wonderful. I could see the person in front of me. It was a lady, and she was tugging back and forth with the security guard on the pocketbook. And I'm like, what? And here, as I got closer, I could hear him saying, what is in the pocketbook? Want me to search this pocketbook? So I sat down and sure enough, she had a block of electrical tape in her bag, and he took it out, and he had to arrest her right in front of me. It's like they're searching, different things now. I mean, it's great. You're not really allowed to carry backpacks places. You go into stadiums, they're checking. So just that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, she was going from Jersey to take heroin to Delaware. Federal, it's just, I don't know how it's going to stop, but I guess just making people aware of it is really all we can do. You're doing what you're doing, and you just need to get out of our towns. We want our town safe again for our kids.
Through my research, I've read about a reversal drug called Narcan. This medication is said to have the ability to reverse an overdose. Capital Blue Cross has donated $100,000 to further equip police officers around Pennsylvania with this drug, Narcan. It will help save many lives. It could be the answer to many suffering families' prayers. Amy had told us what she heard on this matter and if it was around why her son was fighting the addiction.
Yeah, we're just trying to get people, as many people as we can aware. It actually brings the addict out of the high, and it restarts the heart. They're instantly sober once Narcan hits, and they don't want Narcan. It takes away their high. It's either that or you're dead. It wasn't available to houses, though. No. It actually, the week after Kevin died, they came out and said that you can start buying it over the counter at CVS. I reached out to the EMTs in the end, let them know that my son was coming home. Is there any way I could get Narcan? And I was told it's not available for how it is. And I'm actually going to get Narcan trained on October 11th. Yeah, so that we'll be able to carry it and have it with us at all times. Yeah, if anybody, if we're around anywhere in a store, because you see these things on Facebook are just dropping, that we will have Narcan on us and be trained to use it.
Amy, thank you so much for your time. I hope that people become more informed and aware of the harm that heroin can cause to not only themselves but their families and friends as well. I hope people hear your story and want to change and spread awareness everywhere they go.
Yes, and I appreciate you doing it. Thank you so much, Brianna.